Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Fit and Healthy at Any Age. I'm going to talk about how to get bigger arms. This is a very popular, common topic for a lot of fitness channels, especially magazine titles you'll see pretty much every single month in Men's Health or Muscle and Fitness or what have you. They will have some article about how to get bigger arms. It's either bigger arms, six-pack abs, or a bigger chest. Like, it's those three pretty much 95% of the time. And it's kind of frustrating to see this because they're not really offering you anything that's dramatically insightful, okay? And they're also offering, kind of a quick fix. And the human body does not really work that way. And as far as like getting bigger arms, one of the things I've never seen mentioned in those articles, and believe me, they're all over the place, is the fact that you can't really get bigger arms without getting the rest of your body bigger too. Okay, it's a lot like fat loss, and spot reduction. Spot reduction we know is a myth. If you work one particular part of your body, to kind of like try to squish the fat off, like if I did a bicep curl, I'm not squishing the fat off my arm. Just like when you do side bends and sit-ups and crunches and all that stuff, you're not squishing the fat off your abs or your love handles. It doesn't work that way. Your body loses fat proportionately, evenly, all over your entire body. Now, of course, naturally, we're going to carry a little more fat in our midsection, and depending on who you are, females carry a little more in their hips, men carry it a little bit more in their stomach. I mean, it's just kind of evolution. But with the arms, it's kind of the same way. I mentioned this before in another video, how you have to gain 10 to 15 pounds of muscle on your entire body to gain roughly an inch of size on your arm. So if you measured it all the way around the circumference of your arm, to gain an inch in size, you have to get bigger everywhere. And that's really how it works. Now, if we look at this from a logical perspective, and I know what I'm talking about here is not exciting, it's not flashy, it's not necessarily something that's going to be popular or what people want to hear, but it's the truth. It is just the truth. Your body is built a certain way. Everybody's body is built a certain way. We're all human beings. Yes, there are deviations within the genetic code and just kind of how everybody's built slightly different. But for the most part, up to 2/3, even more, of all the muscle in your body is from the waist down. Your legs are huge, massive muscle groups. Okay, one muscle group. If you count your thighs and your quad and your calves together, you could go lower leg and upper leg, as two separate things. But taken as a whole, below the waist, almost 70% of the muscle in your body. Yet you see guys, and it's partly because of these magazine titles and these articles and these YouTube channel videos that are like, work your arms, get big biceps. The bicep is the single smallest major muscle in the body. The smallest. How much bigger can it really get in comparison to everything else? It just can't. And why would you spend, and most guys do this. I'd say 80-90% of the guys I've seen in the gym for the last, few decades of working out focus on their upper body. And they ignore their legs. I mean, 70-80% of their time is spent from here up, when that's only about 30% of all the muscle in your body. And they spend 10 or 20% of their time on the 70% of the muscle on their legs. It doesn't make any sense. It's insane. People do it for, guys lift for their ego. They lift because of their ego. They want the beach body. They want the chest and the abs and the biceps and all. And you're doing yourself a disservice if you go about it that way. I mean, even taking the arm separately, your tricep is about 2/3 of the size of your upper arm. So if you want bigger arms, if you want to actually, measure it and get a bigger measurement, work your triceps more than your biceps. The problem is the triceps, just like all the back muscles, are on the other side of your body. And you can't see it in the mirror as easily. You see what's on front. You see your abs, your chest, and your biceps. Well, again, you're hurting your progress by focusing on only that. Another thing too, this is honestly, if you're going to remember one thing from this video, it's this. You get bigger arms by working compound, simple exercises. Okay, compound chest exercises and compound back exercises. That's how you get bigger arms. And by working your legs, of course, because there's this synergistic effect in all the testosterone in your body by doing something like squats, okay, or deadlifts. Deadlifts, of course, work your back as well as your legs. But those two exercises, I was talking to a friend of mine, Joe. Hey, Joe. He watches this channel occasionally. Hopefully you're watching now because we talked about this the other day. But he's got a friend that is a power lifter, and I'm sure everybody knows people like this where all they do is bench, deadlift, squat. And his friend, his arms are like this big. They're huge. He never works his biceps. He never directly works his triceps. He just does those big, simple exercises. And his arms are big. That's because, again, if you look at this from a functional perspective, when I'm doing, let's say I'm doing a seated row, for my back, well, not only am I working the majority of the muscle in my back, which your back is the second biggest muscle group in your body, behind your legs, it's legs, back, chest. Those are the big three, okay? Then shoulders and so on. So if you're doing that kind of movement, well, I'm working my biceps at the same time. I'm working my rear shoulders at the same time, okay? If I do a bench press and I do a compound movement is when you work more than one muscle at the same time across the same joint. That's what a compound movement is. Squats, bench press, deadlift, seated row, pull-ups, whatever, okay? It's a compound movement. An isolation exercise is when you just do bicep curls. It's a waste of time. It's a complete waste of time. When I do a bench press, I'm working my tricep in the front of my shoulder at the same time. So if you were to do a push-pull, okay, it's called a push-pull combination, that's pretty much everything. You need to do a little bit of core work, of course, but if you're working your legs really hard, you're pretty much working your core too at the same time, as long as you're focusing on that part of your body and you're activating your core. Your abs, your lower back are going to be strong. So if I only had one workout I could do in the week, I'm just so busy or whatever, I'm going to do legs, I'm going to do squat, I'm going to do weighted pull-ups, and I'm going to do dumbbell bench press. That's it. That's 90% of the muscle in my entire body. Why would you just do, I don't even know what the percentage would be for your biceps. I mean, 3%? Yet people spend 90% of their time on 3%. It's completely absurd. So we've got to ignore all these popular websites that say, oh, just work your biceps. I mean, you'll have a guy just sitting there like doing curls with dumbbells. There you go. That's how you get bigger arms. Make sure you go eat. Oh, well, thank you. That was just it's revolutionary. It's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. You've got to focus on the big muscle groups. And you've got to eat. You've got to gain muscle. Just like if you want to lose your abs, oh, how do I lose my abs? Well, how do I do I do crunches? No, you've got to lose body fat. Everybody has a six-pack. Everybody. But if it's covered by fat, you can't see it. Hello? That's all it is. You've got to get, how do you get a six-pack? Get a low enough body fat percentage that your abs, your abdominal muscles, are visible externally. Okay? If I got a knife and just cut everybody's, fat off their stomach and their skin, hey, there are your abs right there. They're there. Everybody has them. But to make them visible, you have to lose body fat. How do you get bigger arms? Well, your whole body has got to grow. You've got to work out to the point where you're synergistically gaining muscle throughout your entire body. Your arms are going to come along. So how do you get bigger arms? You work your whole body. That's it. You work a balanced, you go at this with a balanced approach. You work your legs, your back, and your chest, especially those last two with compound movements. That's it. That's the reality. That's the truth. Okay? I'm telling you. There's no secret like curl or something like that to build, shirt busting growth in your arms. That'll be the subtitle for these asinine articles that you see. Sorry, I'm going on a little rant, but it drives me crazy. Spinal reduction and all this crap on how to get bigger arms. It's not how the body works. Sorry, it's just not. You get bigger arms if your whole body's bigger. That's it. You get abs if you lower your body fat percentage to the point where we can see it. That's it. That's my rant on big arms, the fallacy of big arms, because it is completely ridiculous. And I'm so tired of seeing this nonsense and all this misinformation that's out there. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help anybody. Okay? Focus on your whole body. Legs, back, chest. Or don't. Go ahead and continue to live with your ego and be frustrated. It's up to you. It's your choice. So please subscribe. Please like this video. And please, for the love of God, just work your legs and your back and your chest. Those three, in that order. Focus on those. And you will get bigger arms. I guarantee it. All right? Thanks, guys. Take care.